go, you see? You're down to bare wood again. Handy dandy brush for sweeping up. For here, we're going to have to put some epoxy. Caulking into here, and then put some epoxy around there. Automotive epoxy. If it's good enough for your car, for the highway, it certainly is good enough for your house. But wood filler, no. Epic fail on the wood filler. Wood filler is to be used indoors. Pieces of carpentry, not exposed to the weather. Don't use it outdoors. Just can't take it. It absorbs moisture and it swells up. Epoxy does not absorb anything. I gotta open this window from the inside and get in there later. Now that we've got all this stuff off, now we can start working on the smaller things. I got my sandpaper here. This is from a belt sander. See, it says 50 grit, cotton cloth. This stuff can last you a long time. Those sheets that you buy that are paper backed, they're worthless. You'll use one sheet just on one window. This thing has a lot of grit, and it's going to stay gritty for a long time. You just buy the belt sanding belts and rip off pieces about that size. And we'll use our 50 grit cotton cloth sandpaper to feather down these edges. See, this has rot in here over time because snow has sat here, then melted, turned into water, just sits there. You can see that this sill is actually angled towards the house rather than away from the house like it was originally, because the window has settled into the it's settled behind this ledge here. So now the windowsill is now angled inward, which now allows the water not to run away, to collect, the snow to collect. And of course, any little cracks will be exploited by that, and then you end up with rot. This window should be replaced by rights, but we're not going to go there. We're just going to use epoxy. Costs hundreds and hundreds of dollars to replace a window, and what does it cost to fix it with epoxy? It's not going to be like new, but you'll get a few more years out of it anyway. So after you've done your burning, and you sweep up, and you go around, and you look closer, you do your sanding. Don't forget to look at the vertical pieces. We're going to have to put caulking here. And more filler. We'll just dig this out here. The ladder has these ladder supports, so we don't lean the ladder up against the eaves trough, and also it brings the ladder away from the windowsill so that we can get a better access to the window. Where's my caulking? Got my handy dandy DAP caulking. some caulking into here. Caulking like this will expand and contract. It won't absorb moisture, and it will move a little bit as the wood moves with temperature changes. Filler does not move, it dries rock hard. And of course here you have a natural gap between two pieces of wood, between this piece and this piece. So we don't want that to be filled with a rigid material. We've got some holes in the caulking up here. So let's see what we can do. Fill these. We'll run a bead and then we'll smooth it down. You have to be ambidextrous when you're working on ladders. You gotta make use of your left hand as well as your right. I can't do anything with my left hand, but I can certainly paint with my left hand, scrape with my left hand, sand with my left hand. Can't do anything else with my left hand. But I can do this job with my left hand. Slipper for the right, but the left comes in handy. Now we're ready for primer. I'll bring the epoxy afterwards. I don't have it mixed up. Epoxy's got to be mixed up, and you only have a few minutes to work with it. So you have to do these filling jobs all at once when you have it. Can't keep it with you, because as soon as you mix it, the clock's ticking. Okay, ready for priming. This piece here, I'm going to cut it off here and put in a new piece of wood. That's the best thing to do there. Then we're going to use an oil-based primer, because oil-based primers won't allow wood staining to come through. And when you're working with windows, old wood, especially cedar, there'll be tannin stains in the wood that will come through latex primer and therefore come through your latex top coat. So you want to use an oil-based primer. Penetrates better as well. It's about the only thing I really do in oil, for the most part, other than perhaps deck stain, because you want penetration there. That gap there has to be filled in with epoxy. There's no need to prime the whole window, because good quality paint sticks to sound paint perfectly fine. But on the sills take a lot of abuse, so you want to prime the sills